Okay, so we are going to take each of these now, one after the other. And the first one here is air pollution. So air pollution simply refers to the introduction of any substance, whether chemical, particulate matter, anything harmful. It could be biological, chemical, anything that can cause harm or discomfort to human being or other living organisms. Anything that can cause damage to man and its resources in the air is an air pollutant, and that thing is going to cause air pollution. Sources of air pollution or air pollutant, the thing that can simply pollute the air. A substance in the air that can cause harm to human and the environment is known as air pollutant. So anything that will pollute the air at all is known as air pollutant, and they include, among others, one, burning of fuel. When we start our vehicle in smoking of cigarettes is another way of polluting the air. That is why you see in most places these days you see no smoking signs. That is to prohibit people from smoking, because when someone smoke and puff the smoke into the environment, it's going to pollute the air, and this is not acceptable. The release of harmful gases like carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide into the environment too, they cause air pollution. Dust in the environment is also a good source of air pollution. So when you want to sweep any environment that is dusty, it's avoidable by first put some water. So this water will reduce the amount of dust that is going to be raised, and therefore reducing the rate of polluting the air. Another air pollutant is, another way of polluting the air is sleeping in poorly ventilated room. A room is said to be poorly ventilated if there is, if the air there cannot circulate from one end to the other. There must be a sort of cross ventilation. The air should be able to move from one point of the room to another point of the room. If this is not done, the people sleeping in that room can die of suffocation. So we have to see that we sleep in a place that is properly ventilated. What are the effects of air pollution? If our air is polluted, what are the things that we can experience? We have, due to carbon monoxide, it reduces oxygen carrying capacity of the red blood cell. So the red blood cell or hemoglobin carries oxygen to the cells of the body. And we know that the cells of our body, they need oxygen to carry out respiration. But in the case of air pollutant, they pursue the oxygen away and attach themselves to the oxygen. So instead of the blood carrying oxygenated blood, the blood is now carrying carbon monoxide. And carbon monoxide is poisonous to the cells. So when they get to the cells, it will lead to suffocation, and ultimately death. Then, due to particulate matter and dust rotation to human eye, dust affects our breathing system and lungs. It makes it difficult for us to breathe. Then, due to sulfur oxide, when dissolved in rainwater, it forms acidic rain, which can affect plant and animal adversely. This one is common among industrial areas. In industrial areas where carbon oxide is released into the atmosphere, when rain falls, the rain mixes with this sulfur oxide in the atmosphere. By the time it gets to animals or man, whatever, it will have formed acid. That's why people begin to have this itchy sensation, because this sulfur oxide will have reacted with water and will now form H2SO4, which is an acid, and it causes itchy skin. So sulfur oxide mixing with rainwater in industrial area form what is called acid rain. Then due to smoke, it can cause irritation to the eyes, breathing disorder, reduction in plant yield. You know, plants, their leaves are green. This helps them to carry out photosynthesis. But when dust settles on them, they take different color. So, which will now reduce the rate at which the plant is able to carry out photosynthesis. The implication is that when there is reduction in the rate at which plant carry out photosynthesis, there's ultimately going to be reduction in the ability of the plant to make its food. If plants are not able to make their food, animals that are heterotrophic, that depend on plants for their food too, will not be able to get food. How do we now control air pollution? One, industry and factories should be established far away from residential areas. When we are learning about the effect of air pollution that time, I told you that it causes acid rain, because when we have industries and they release sulfur oxide into the atmosphere, when water mixes with it during rainfall, it results into acid rain that itches our body when our body comes in contact with such water. That is why we need to site industry far away from where we inhabit. If industries are sited from far away from where we inhabit, it will reduce the possibility of we having contact with acid rain due to release of sulfur oxide into the air. Then factories and industries too should be equipped with chimneys to allow smoke pass out directly into the air. So this one is a very long pipe that will take the smoke far away from human and other human resources. Then people should be encouraged to plant trees. This is a sort of relationship in the ecosystem. Animals will send out carbon dioxide, which is poisonous to the environment. It's an air pollutant. But plants, they need it to make their food. So it's a sort of a kind of symbiotic relationship between plants and animals. So plants, they release oxygen, which is required by animals. So as plants are sending out the oxygen during the process of photosynthesis, animals will help them to take in the oxygen and send it to our cells for respiration. So, but as we animals are sending out carbon dioxide, the carbon dioxide makes the environment, it raises the temperature of the environment, but plants, they need it. So that is why we have to be encouraged to plant trees so that the carbon dioxide we are sending out can be used by plants to make food for us ultimately too. Another means by which we can control air pollution is that government should take measures to limit emission of carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases. These days, companies and industry, they need to apply to the government, and government will have to charge them based on the level of carbon dioxide that they release into the environment. So because they know that government will charge them according to the level, they too will now try to reduce the level of carbon dioxide that they release into the environment, because they too they don't want to pay fine, they don't want to pay such fines to government. So because of that, they too will now limit the amount of carbon dioxide they release. Another means of controlling air pollution is the use of BRT, or park and ride. If every one of us want to ride his or her car, you can imagine the amount of smoke we release into the environment. All of us in GSS1, boys, girls, all of us in GSS2, boys, girls, we want to ride our cars on the way. You can imagine the level of smoke that will be generating and will be releasing into the environment. So government now has to do something that is called park and ride. So you park your car and you ride in government vehicle like the BRT, bus rapid transport. So instead of a million of us being on the highway at the same time, releasing smoke here and there, we'll be inside one bus. So instead of like 100 of us releasing smoke, it is only the 100 cars releasing smoke. It is only the BRT one that will be releasing smoke into the environment. The second type of pollution now is water pollution. And water pollution is simply defined as the contamination of water bodies to the extent that they become so harmful for human and animal use, and sometimes even to plants. At one time or the other, you will have seen people in your environment polluting water. Some people urinate inside the water, some even go as far as defecating inside water. But this water, again, some will still take this water home to go and drink. It's become harmful for human, to man, even to some plants. Causes of water pollution. Now, how do we pollute water? We pollute water first by dumping household waste into water bodies. Dumping of household waste into water bodies. In some communities, in some localities, people wait for rain. As soon as they see rain like this, what do? They pack their waste bin and empty it into the water, into this gutter. Water will now carry it. Ultimately, it's taking them into large water bodies where they are going to pollute the water bodies, making the water to become harmful to man, to animals, and even to plants in some cases. Another thing that can pollute water bodies will be chemicals, e.g. dye. We wear jeans. When our jeans become faded, we try to dye them, maybe blue, black. At the end of the day, where do we release this dye solution? Inside water bodies, and they go to pollute the water. Acid, maybe the one we use in the laboratory for titration in chemistry classes, the one that is used in studios where they print photograph. Where do they end up? Inside water bodies. Some, again, from factories where they make chemicals, paints, household materials. Their waste are discharged directly into water bodies, thereby causing water pollution. Oil spill too causes water pollution from pipelines. We have hoodlums these days, they go to damage pipelines. When they damage pipeline, the purpose is, why they damage pipeline? Because they want to save fuel, they want to siphon fuel there. But when they are done, the damage there, of course, cannot be rectified. So the oil now spills everywhere. Water will now carry the oil spill and continue to carry them. That's where we have issues in Ogoni land, for example, where the water there is undrinkable. Animals cannot survive in the water there because oil has polluted their water due to oil spill from damaged pipelines. Farmers too, they use chemicals because they want to kill fish. So the chemical are released into the water bodies to kill fish. What that happens is that they don't just kill fish immediately. They are indirectly or directly to killing humans and animals that will feed on this fish. When this type of fish get to the market, people that buy them, cook and eat, are likely to suffer from food poisoning because the chemical, they are still in the system of the fish. They have used them to kill fish, but they are still in the system of the fish. When human now buy this fish and eat, see, they begin to suffer from food poisoning. Some will be stooling, some will be vomiting. They will not know what caused it. It's because probably the person that hunted for that fish used chemical to do so. So it is not good to use chemical inside water to kill fish. Then farmers again use chemicals on their farm, maybe to control weeds or to control insects. When rain falls, rainwater will now carry this residual portion of this chemical and take them into water bodies. I told that farmers, they use it maybe to suppress weed or to control insects on their farms. But at the end of the day, these particulate natures will end up inside water bodies. Water will carry them and they will end up inside water body. Another important water pollutant is underground sewage, the one that we call soak away. This soak away normally has two compartments: the place where the solid waste will be stored and the place where the liquid waste will be stored. So anytime we use the toilet and we use water to flush the toilet, the solid part has a particular compartment, the water part has a particular compartment. But as the time goes on, this underground water can find its way down into water bodies because you cannot restrict water. You cannot put water under control. So you cannot go beyond this place. You cannot do that for water. So they can seep underground and end up inside water bodies. They now go to pollute the water bodies. Animals, humans that now drink this now can now begin to suffer from maybe dysentery or diarrhea simply because they have taken contaminated water. How do we control water pollution? What do we do to control water pollution? First, water should be treated properly, maybe by boiling, by adding chemicals like alum. We can even use chlorine in water plant. Chlorine is what is used to treat water. So first you boil the water, you add alum, you sieve, you use chlorine to kill the chemicals, to kill the germs inside the water. The fishermen should use other method of catching fish aside of chemicals. A while ago, I told that when chemicals are used to catch fish, they pollute the water so that any other fish that migrates to that particular water body later will still die of that chemical effect. Animals or humans that eat that fish, they too are likely to suffer from food poisoning. So all because someone wants to make huge profits at the risk of other people. So farmers should use other means to catch fish instead of using chemicals. They can use nets, they can use hook and line instead of using chemicals. Government should make legislation to prevent industry from polluting water bodies. That industry should be stopped from releasing their wastewater into water bodies. Then we should reduce oil spillage and practice proper sewage disposal, not releasing our sewage inside water bodies. We should reduce oil spillage and we should ensure proper sewage disposal. Okay. Okay, thank you. Are you done with this? Can I move on now? Can I move on now? Okay, I should wait. Anthony. Titan, can I move on? Okay, thank you. Anthony, just nod your head if I can move on. Anthony, nod. Can I move on? Thank you, Anthony. Okay. The third type of pollution is the land or soil pollution. And that is the buildup of poisonous chemicals, pathogens, or radioactive waste in the soil to the extent that they now cause harm to human and other natural resources. What are pathogens? Pathogens means disease-causing organisms. Disease-causing organisms. The organisms that cause disease are referred to as pathogens. So they are built up on land or on the soil is what is referred to land or soil pollution. Land or soil pollution is caused by build-up of poisonous chemicals, pathogens, that is disease-causing organism, or radioactive waste in the soil to the extent that they cause harm to human and natural resources. Type of soil pollutants. So soil pollutants are basically divided into two. We have the one that are called biodegradable and the one that are called non-biodegradable. Biodegradable are the ones that can decompose. They can decompose. Whereas non-biodegradable are the ones that cannot decompose. The way they are today is the way they will still be in millions of years to come. They cannot decompose. But biodegradable pollutant can decompose. So example of biodegradable pollutant will now include animal dung or manure. So animal dung, that's the waste of animals, their feces, their excreta. They can be used as a manure or fertilizer on our farm. They pollute the soil briefly for a short period of time because they are going to decompose. They are biodegradable. They can decompose. After some time, they leave the environment. They leave the soil. But non-biodegradable, e.g. plastic, as they are today, that's how they will be in millions of years to come. So the one, when you drink water using a plastic bottle, you take soft drink using a plastic bottle, they end up in your dustbin. From dustbin to wherever you want to put them. But forever, they are going to remain in the environment. Okay, please, can you go back? All right, let me do that briefly. So this, is this all right now? Tata, is it all right? No, still go back. Wow, this, is it all right? Thank you. Okay, I'll just wait for you briefly to take that. Okay, noted. Noted, I'll wait for you briefly to take that. But when you are done, just signal to me that you are ready. Is that all right? Antonio, have you taken this? Okay. Wow. All right, I'm waiting. I'm waiting. Thank you for the feedback. I'm waiting. But just when you are done, just signal to me so I can move on. Meanwhile, everybody clean your screen. Clean the screen now. Yeah, thank you. So that you don't block what other people are writing. Thank you. Go back. I've gone back. After this live session, you can still access the note on YouTube. After this live session, you can still access the note on YouTube. All right. But meanwhile, clean your screen so that others will. Thank you, Titan. I can see. Thank you. All right. Thank you. Yeah, others should please clean their screen so that you don't block what others are copying.
You can use the chat platform instead of writing screen. When I write here, see. Read this one.
Okay, I want to move on now. Done, thank you. Okay. It's not good.
Next.
Okay, now the third one is land or soil pollution. Please clean the screen. Clean the screen. We'll be stopping here. Clean the screen. Thank you. I'm still waiting for others to clean their screen. Thank you. We stop here for this morning. So I will quickly recap what we have learned. We started with the definition of pollution. Please clean the screen. As I told us that you can still access it on YouTube after this live session. So as a means of recap, we started with the definition of pollution, that is the release of harmful substances into the environment to the extent that they cause biological damages to man and its resources. I would say that our environment consists of three important things, which are the air, the water we drink, and the land. That anything that causes damage to these three important components is referred to as a pollutant. So we have land pollutant, we have air pollutant, and we have water pollutant. So far for this session, we have been able to see the things that cause water pollution. We have seen the one that causes air pollution. So we stop here for now. So the next class, the next meeting, we now continue from land pollution. Any question, please? We continue next class. We continue next class. But if you have a question, you can come up with a question now.
They can tap and speak on the slide.
We will continue next class. So we continue next class. My producer is telling me that I should round up. So we continue next class. We continue next class. Thank you. Thank you.